I'd like to call the meeting to order and welcome everybody to the Laverne Planning Commission December 28th, 2021 regular meeting at 6 p.m. We do have a quorum. First item is to approve the meeting minutes from the November 30th, 2021 regular meeting.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion passes. Our first item of business. Site plan, Matchett Laverne Fast Truck Service, new building of 5,750 square feet on 4.98 acres, requested by Green Lid Design. Property located at 393 Mason Road, tax map 17, parcel 12.01, I-2 Heavy Industrial Zoning District, property owned by Manashangoli. Mr. Logan.
Thank you. This is a site plan request located on Mason Road, 393 Mason Road. This project has been here for a few months, trying to tie up their technical comments and get those completed. So 2 weeks ago, you'll see coming up on the slide and also in your packets, they after that workshop, they connected the sidewalk, the corner of Sanders and Mason Road. But looking at the screen, you can see the outline of the property in blue. So moving in there for a closer look. So this is Sanders Drive and the intersection of Mason Road. And it's this vacant lot here where they're looking to build. The zoning map, you can see it is the dark navy blue, which is I-2 zoning. That's heavy industrial. So the zoning does fit the intended use. And this is about a 5-acre site, 4.98 acres, and the building they're proposing is 5,750 square feet. So this first slide, if you look right there at the corner, and keep your eye on that, so then now you can see the sidewalk has been connected. So that's the old, that's the new. And all the other technical comments had been addressed in the prior meetings in prior months. So this site is not in an overlay district. It's just straight I-2 zoning. And there's some photos that you've seen a few times already. So that's the stop sign at Sanders as it tees into Mason Road. And as I mentioned, the technical comments have been taken care of over the month, so there's none outstanding, so that completes the report. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Do we have any questions or comments from the board in regards to this item? One? We'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve as submitted.
We have a motion to approve as submitted by Mr. Rutledge. Do we have a second?
Our second.
Second by Mayor Cole. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Items number 2 and items number 3 have been deferred, correct, Mr. Logan?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
So we will move on to item number 4. Final plat, replat of Lot 1, Interchange City, Section 4, and final plat of Lots 1 and 2, Legend Properties, 2 lots on 7.17 acres, requested by Young, Hobbs and Associates. Property located on Howell Quaker Boulevard, tax map 17, parcel 41 and 28.01, I-2 Heavy Industrial Zoning District, property owned by Legend Properties LLC. Mr. Logan.
So this is a request for final plat approval. This is old business that has been here at prior meetings, so most or all of their comments have been taken care of by now. But you can see on the screen the property there next to Hurricane Creek. So this is also the Davidson County line. So it's the last parcel in Laverne as you go northwest down Howell Quaker. Zooming in, you can see the property, and it's mainly flat, vacant area where they're intending to create a new lot. So the zoning map, again, you're looking up here in this navy blue area, which is all I-2 zoning, and There's a photo of the property off Hile Quaker. And the total acreage here is about 7 acres. It's 7.17 acres. And they're looking to create one new lot when the subdivision is complete. And this is the plat that was submitted. And you can see the 2 lots there. So this is lot 1, and then lot 2 to the east, or southeast. And I know I mentioned at the workshop, but it was confusing originally because this looked like a boundary line, but it's not. So the 2 lots are actually, both have frontage on the road as they're required to have. There's no comments left remaining, so that completes the report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Logan. Do we have some questions or comments from the board? Mayor Cole?
Mr. Logan, can you go back to the zoning map? Okay, so looking there, that there appears to be that boundary line as well. And whenever I'm looking at it zoomed in on the zoning map, it appears so.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Could be a mistake on the assessor's part. That happens sometimes. I'd have to defer to the applicant.
I think what you're looking at, there's 2 existing lots, and that back property line that's kind of parallel with the road, that one's being abandoned with this plat, and the one property line connects to the back. Then you end up with 2 lots.
Okay, with that abandonment, yeah, that
Yes.
makes sense now.
Yeah,
So it'd basically be a left and a right property.
yes,
One solid, one solid.
yep.
Perfect. Any other questions from the board? No questions, we'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. On to our next item. So item number 5, recommendation to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen, rezoning of property requested by SEC Inc., 0.78 acres, property located at 441 Sand Hill Road, tax map 14, parcel 48, current zoning district A agricultural, proposed zoning district R3, high-density residential zoning district, property owned by Maxie Patton. Mr. Logan.
So this is a request to rezone .78 acres on Sand Hill Road. The address is 441 Sand Hill Road. You can see here in the large overview shot that shows the surrounding area, there's a lot of R3 and multifamily zoning on several sides of this property. And we zoom in, you can see some of the townhomes that are on the east side of the property. And also you'll see the property to the north and west is zoned R3 as well. Across the road there is an agricultural tract that we'll see on the zoning map. So this is the subject property, and you can see the large tract across the street. It does show agricultural, but the other 3 sides are R3, and R3 is high-density residential. So the applicant is wanting to rezone to R3 from the existing agricultural district. This is a fairly small area, 0.78 acres. And the purpose of the rezoning would be to build approximately 7 2-story structures. Should say 2-story in the report. And I believe that's what the applicant has stated at the workshop that they would intend to build on this site. There is, of course, beyond the agricultural zoning and R3, there is some industrial nearby. So that's this light blue color is I-1, which is light industrial. And that's the intersection of Dick Buchanan Street and Sand Hill. That's the 4-way stop. So there is a mixture of zoning in this area. This stage, there's no technical items, so that completes the report.
Thank you, Mr. Logan. Do we have any questions or comments from the board?
We do, Mr. Chairman, if the applicant could come to the front.
Please, if you can state your name and address and birth date for the record, please, sir.
Matt Taylor from SEC, 850 Middle Tennessee Boulevard, 122881.
Happy birthday, sir.
Thank you.
So although we're talking about zoning this evening.
Yes, sir.
When we spoke at the workshop, you were going to look at how many buildings you're going to put on there, and I noticed that you've come back with the same amount. That's not changed. You're going to,
We're going to look at that at the site plan. Frankly, I've been out of the country for almost the entire time since the workshop. So I will look at that prior to the workshop or prior to a site plan stage. I have not forgotten. Matter of fact, I've still got my notes right here. So
thank you.
thank you.
Sir. Any other questions or comments? With that, we'll be entertaining a motion, and it will be for a favorable or unfavorable recommendation to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen.
I'll make a favorable recommendation to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen for a favorable recommendation.
We have a motion for thank you, Mr. Rutledge. We have a motion for a favorable recommendation to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen. Do we have a second?
A second.
We have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. We will be sending a favorable recommendation to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen on this item.
Favorable.
You'll get it out, sir. On to our next item. Item number 6, recommendation of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen, rezoning of property requested by Womble and Associates, 0.59 acres, property located at Woody Thomas Drive and Old Nashville Highway, tax map 17E, Group A, Parcel 1, current zoning district C2 Highway Service Zoning District, proposed zoning district C3 Neighborhood Service Zoning District, property owned by Adnan Shreedman. Mr. Logan.
This is a request to rezone property at the corner of Woody Thomas and Old Nashville Highway. This site is 0.59 acres. And on the general overview, you can see it's this piece of property here at the corner of Woody Thomas and Old Nashville. So the closer look shows this lot is mainly just a flat vacant lot. There's 2 or 3 mature trees on the site, but other than that, it's a clear site. On the zoning map, you can see, so we're at this darker red, which is C2. That's highway service, commercial is C2. And there is some C2 also across the road. You'll see in just a moment, the yellow house is C2. And then across the road, there's R2 as well as R3, which is this green parcel here. And let's move to some of the photos. So this is the lot. This is the other corner that I mentioned is zone C2. So this would be that light yellow house. Then this is the other neighbor as you go south and east. Is this home here? And then across the road from the stop sign, so there's the stop sign, is this white house, and it's zoned R3, which is high density residential. And this is the plan, concept plan that was submitted by the applicant. So you can see this concept plan shows 6 units total, and the gray is the parking area, parking lot, and then the dumpster enclosure is this light gray area. And then the area set aside for detention would be closest to Old Nashville Highway, which is the blue area. So all total 6 units, and at one time the applicant had intended or mentioned that they might do 3 or they might do 2. So I don't know exactly what the final decision has been on that, but this is the latest concept plan that was submitted for this item. Going back to the zoning map, So there's really it's a pretty broad mix. Got some commercial, got some R1 behind that, low density residential. We've got some R3 high density across the street. So it's quite a mix of zoning along this stretch of Old Nashville. There's no technical items at this point, so that completes the report. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Do we have any questions or comments from the board?
If I could, Mr. Chairman, I've got a few questions for the applicant, please.
Please, sir. You would come to the podium, state your name and address for the record, sir.
Danny Womble, 214 Centerview Drive, Brentwood, Tennessee.
Although we're talking about zoning this evening, just want to mention a couple of things about the concept plan.
Okay.
As we plan ahead to widen Old Nashville Highway, is the setbacks sufficient enough so when we widen it, that it doesn't encroach on your property?
They are, and in the resubmittal letter after the workshop discussion, we stated in the letter that there would be sufficient room to dedicate right of way, and we will do that if the zoning is approved.
And then the entrance coming off Woody Thomas, just go through your thought process of putting on Woody Thomas versus Old Nashville Highway.
So I didn't understand that question.
So the moment you had the driveway coming off Woody Thomas Drive versus Old Nashville Highway,
Correct.
I mean, from a planning standpoint, what's your thoughts as an engineer of putting the access point off Woody Thomas versus Old Nashville Highway?
Well, typically for commercial use, like for example, the more intense commercial use, like you could have with the existing zoning of C2, you would want the driveway off of the highway where the most traffic is to give your commercial uses the best chance of being successful. This would be a down zoning from C2 to C3. It would be a much less intense commercial use. We had 4 different options we had presented in the workshop. This is the option that the majority of the commissioners liked. With this lower intense commercial use and with the residential use, we think the driveway on Woody Thomas will function properly and will provide adequate access for a successful project.
And is this planned to be a live-work building? Explain what the building is going to be designed for.
It is proposed to be live work, and this concept is to allow people to live in the residential portion of the unit upstairs and have offices or a little small retail shop on the ground level where they would work. And so they can live and work in the same unit, or they can live upstairs and have the ground floor that they can lease out or sell to someone that wants to have a little ice cream shop or a little professional office for a real estate agent or an architect, a lawyer, or someone like that. And that's the concept.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions or comments? With that, we will entertain a motion. Once again, it is for favorable or unfavorable recommendation to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen.
Well, since everyone's jumping in, I will make a motion to give an unfavorable recommendation to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen.
We have a motion for an unfavorable recommendation. Do we have a second?
I second.
We have a second by Mr. Rutledge. We are going to do a roll call, starting with Mr. Campbell. Coleman, I'm sorry, sir. We have a motion for an unfavorable recommendation. We're doing a roll call vote.
Unfavorable, yes. Aye.
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 The answer?
Aye.
Aye. And we will be sending a unfavorable recommendation to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen. Next item. Item number 7, site plan, Waldron Road Industrial Park, Lot 2, new building additions totaling 1,274 and 480 square feet on approximately 7.52 acres, requested by Huddleston Steel, property located at 181 Charter Place, tax map 28, parcel 2.12, I-2 Heavy Industrial Zoning District, property owned by McMahon Properties Nashville LLC. Mr. Logan.
This is a request for site plan approval for 2 additions at an existing building. The existing building is at 161 Charter Place. And you can see on the screen, so it's the building shown here right next to I-24. And they are building, or intending to build 2 small additions. One would be 1,274 square feet, and the other 480 square feet. So this is a closer view. You can see there's quite a large parking area on at least, well, really all 4 sides of the building. So lots of trucks and other vehicles parked there. So you can see on the in your packet, the addition is one addition's off of I believe it's this corner here, and the other one is on the end, kind of northwest end of the building. So on the zoning map, coming around Charter Place, there's a fair amount of industrial land at the end of it. Of course, Thornton's is going to build here at the corner, and all that's zone C2 commercial. But as you move further down Charter Place, it's all industrial zoning on both sides. So this is the updated site plan from 2 weeks ago. You'll notice one thing they've added is this large note kind of in the middle of the plan that talks about fire sprinklers. So they have mentioned that the building is already sprinklered, so that was brought up at the workshop, and there wasn't a good answer that night. So this is zooming into that site plan. So again, you can see the corner here. So that's the 1,274 square feet addition, and the other addition is this dark area at the northwest side of the building. And the whole parcel is 7.52 acres. There were quite a few technical comments that were brought up 2 weeks ago at the workshop, and most of those have been corrected. There are 2 notes left, and one is about the landscape plan, and there's a question that staff had about the type of plantings. The other comment is about the material and materials board. The architectural elevations show a lot of metal, and the sample board that's up there also has samples of metal. So those do not appear to meet the overlay district. And those are the 2 comments that are remaining. Show some photos. So this is from Charter Place. You can see the building in the background. And then this is another photo near the entrance, and you can see the large bay doors that make up this side of the building. And one more view of the driveway into the property. And this is the overlay map that we went over 2 weeks ago that just shows the architectural overlay south of the interstate. And that completes the report. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Is there a representative here this evening for this project? If you would be so kind, please come to the podium, state your name and address for the record, sir.
Bill Huddleston with Huddleston Steel Engineering, 2115 Northwest Broad Street in Murfreesboro.
Hello, kind sir. So we still have 2 items on the technical items. In overlay, metal is not allowed, so that is, I would assume, the reason for number 2. We had spoke with the applicant at workshop and advised him of this. So here we are, so to
Yeah,
say.
I don't know why he didn't comply. What I can do is get him to get in touch with Mr. Logan and make sure we know what it needs to be.
Very good.
He's got to follow the rules.
Yes, sir. So with that, I will make a motion for deferral so we can take this back to workshop.
Our second.
We have a second by Mayor Cole. All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion passes. We'll see you at workshop, sir. On to our next item. Item number 8, site plan 227 Waldron Road, new building totaling 9,500 square feet on 1.4 acres, requested by former Lucas, property located at 227 Waldron Road, tax map 17, parcel 2.04, C2 Highway Service Zoning District, property owned by Ascend Federal Credit Union. Mr. Logan.
Thank you. This is a site plan request for a new building that would be built on Waldron Road, next to Ascend Federal Credit Union. You can see on the screen, it's this parcel here that lies just to the north of Ascend. So in this image, you can see the Ascend Federal Credit Union to the south, and then this is the lot that is proposed for this new, I believe it's a retail paint store that they are proposing, and the square footage is 9,500 square feet. So this is the zoning map, and all the way up here to the north, you can see it's the last parcel that's zoned C2, and that's right before the I-2 district begins. So the boundary there of two districts. That's the lighting plan. We can come back to that, but this is the older site plan on the screen, and then the second slide is the newer site plan that they've submitted for tonight. So they're still showing 9,500 square feet, and there is decent-sized parking area that would be, looks like in the front of the store, with loading area for trucks in the back. There's a closer view of the proposed building and the site. The dumpster enclosure is also shown in the rear of the store. And you see on the architectural elevations, there's a couple of large bay doors that I presume are at the loading docks in the rear of the store. This is a site photo, so you can see existing sidewalk is out there today on Waldron Road. So there is sidewalk in place. And there's a closer view. It's looks like some trees that are maybe a couple or 3 years old trying to grow, but it has been cleared in the past. And then this is from the rear of Ascend Federal Credit Union. So this nice landscape in here is from Ascend, and then beyond that is the site. And then this view is also taken from the rear of Ascend, and in wintertime you just see the silhouette of the trees, but these are some nice standard trees back here that are mature that will provide some buffer during the growing season. So their comments have been whittled down quite a bit also. Now there's 3. The architectural elevations did not seem to meet all the requirements of the overlay, or some areas of metal on the walls, and there's a outstanding comment from the fire department, and so I'll let them speak to that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, please.
Yeah, the only thing we noticed was the FDC was still placed on the building. Typically, sometimes that's also taken care of during the official plan review phases, not necessarily a site plan, but since it was added on the site plan, it was noted. It's still on a building. Per ordinance, has to be 50 feet away from the building.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Is there a representative for this applicant? Please state your name and address for the record, sir.
Yeah, Josh Hutchison with Fulmer Lucas Engineering,
Yes.
230 Willow Drive, Nashville.
Yes, sir. I believe you're moderately in the same position the last applicant was in. So we have some metal on the building, which is not allowed in the overlays.
Not even facing away from the road.
It would,
Now, that's
Okay.
something we have discretion on at that point, is that right?
refer to legal if
I
you
would
don't
ask
mind.
the attorney.
Mr. Brown?
He said attorney.
I'll have to get back to you on it. I've got to research it. I don't know if it's up to your discretion on the backside or not.
Well, I can say just for me, if it's not road facing, it's, if it's the back of a building, I don't have a problem with it myself. I don't know how the rest of the board feels, but that's me.
I don't think we've really ran into this prior. Mr. Coates? do you
No, we
thoughts
have,
on
no,
that?
so it's, so, but obviously, the other issues have to be addressed anyway. So, I mean, although we're close, I mean, appreciate getting the punch list down to where it was to the 3 items that we have, but all those 3 have to be addressed. I mean, that's certainly the fire one too, so,
I think I may have misunderstood the FTC comment. So it needs to be a minimum of 50 foot away from the building?
That's correct. Per
Okay.
the city ordinance, it'd be a minimum of 50 foot off of the building.
Okay,
Typically, for design efforts, they normally put it on a hot box where all the backflows
okay.
and items are.
I can make that change easily.
And I'm just going to make the statement that I disagree, that I think in that overlay, all of it should be what the overlay requires. It shouldn't be, even if it's facing away, it should still be what it is. That way I can hold everybody accountable to that overlay district and not have to make an exception every single time it comes up here.
Well, with items being left, would someone like to make a motion for deferral? If
So moved.
Mayor Cole makes a motion for deferral, I will second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. We'll see you at workshop, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Good, Adam.
I'll take care of it.
Rolling right through this list here. Let's go to our next item. We're on item number 9, everyone. Preliminary plat, McCormick Place, 28 lots and 1 lot for government use on 8.62 acres. Requested by Womble and Associates, property located on Bill Stewart Boulevard, tax map 14F, Group A, parcel 1.01, and tax map 14, parcels 36, 36.01, and 36.02. PDR, planned density residential with an R2 base medium density zoning district, property owned by Abnon Shreven. Mr. Logan.
So this is McCormick Place, which is a preliminary plat request, and they are proposing 28 lots plus 1 lot for government use on 8.62 acres. So this image shows the fire hall on Bill Stewart Boulevard, and it's the property to the north of the fire hall and wraps around to the rear. So that's the 8.62 acres. There's a closer view. So the fire hall is here, and then it's this property that makes an L shape to the north and east. And the zoning map, GIS still shows it. They were supposed to change that, but they haven't. But anyway, you all know, as you were here this summer, that it was rezoned with the, to PDR, so with the R2 base. But this is the site photos, and you can see the property around the existing fire hall. So this is that tree line to the north as you're going north on Bill Stewart. And this is Bill Stewart just out of the, coming into the view of the photo to the left. And then this is the plan that was submitted for the subdivision. So moving in closer here, you can see the existing property that goes with the fire hall. And then this is McCormick Place, which is the main street that would give access to the subdivision. And then there are some alleys as well with this development. Then the remaining acreage would be for the city's use. And see, there are no comments. I don't believe there were any at the workshop either, so that completes the report.
Thank you, sir. Do we have any questions or comments from the board?
Just one question for the applicant.
If you'd be so kind, applicant, please come to the podium.
Danny, Danny Womble, 216 Centerview Drive, Brentwood, Tennessee.
Just wondering if you can tell me about the trees buffering the stormwater detention area.
We have added those to the plan, and we have drawn in between Bill Stewart Boulevard and the detention pond, several trees highlighted there, and we've noted them. Detention pond to be screened from Bill Stewart Boulevard.
Do we know what kind of trees they are?
Generally, we deal with that when we develop the landscape plan, when we do construction drawings, get the preliminary plats approved. But generally, it would be screening trees to screen it, which is going to be evergreen trees, which are probably going to be some type of pine tree or Leland cypress tree or something like that that will give you a complete green screen that's evergreen.
Wonderful.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Womble. Any other questions or comments?
Make a motion to accept as submitted.
We have a motion to accept as submitted by Alderman Coates, second by Mayor Cole. All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion passes. On to our next item. Item number 10, final plat re-subdivision of Lot 1, Phase 1, Laverne 2000, two commercial lots on 2.67 acres requested by Womble and Associates, property located at 5001 Murfreesboro Road, tax map 15, parcel 13.01, C2 Highway Service and C3 Neighborhood Service zoning district, property owned by JRN Inc. Mr. Logan.
Thank you. I have tried and tried to get rid of this slide, so I may be asking for help after sometime tomorrow. I've deleted all the slides and put them back in, and it's like the Grinch has got into my PowerPoint. No matter what I do, the 10 shows up in a random place. So deleting all of them and starting over is not working either. I don't know what's going on. So this is a final plat request, Laverne 2000. And this is two commercial lots. This was rezoned earlier in the summer. You can see, so this is the property up here by Hurricane Creek, and the front part of the property is KFC, and the rear part of the property will be now live work units. So zooming in for closer look. So this is KFC, and then Regions Bank on the other corner. And then we're talking about this area between KFC and the existing Laverne 2000 townhomes. So the purpose of this plat is to subdivide what was rezoned earlier this summer. And the two lots together are 2.67 acres. And this is the zoning map, so again, we're up here next to Davidson County. So it's all zoned C3 now, which is neighborhood service, C2 and C3. The KFC will remain C2. So let's move in and look at here's some photos of the site. So this is KFC in the distance. So you can see it's already a flat area. And this is some of the high voltage power lines that run across, and you've seen the easement too on the plat. So this is the high voltage power line easement that's running basically from the northwest down to the southeast. And zooming in, you can see, so this is existing KFC, and then this is the ingress egress off of near Schreibman, and then this area in the back is where the new development would occur. And there were no technical comments 2 weeks ago, so they've just resubmitted this tonight for the meeting, and that completes the report.
Thank you, sir. Do we have any questions or comments from the board on this item? Pretty straightforward lot separation.
I can make a motion to accept as submitted.
We have a motion to accept as submitted. Do we have a second? We have a second by Mayor Cole. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. And our next item, item number 11, preliminary plat, Jones Boulevard Industrial, one new lot on 7.25 acres requested by Kimley Horn, property located on Jones Boulevard, tax map 17, parcel 7.01, I-2 Heavy Industrial Zoning District, property owned by Quality Nashville LLC. Mr. Logan.
So this is a preliminary plat approval for one new lot on Jones Boulevard. And you can see in the image that the existing parcel has one large building on it already. And the purpose of this plat is to carve out one new lot of 7 1/4 acres for new industrial development. So again, you can see here in this photo, this dark area is a forested, undeveloped area, so that's where the development would occur. On the zoning map, it's zoned I-2, which is the dark blue. So the site photos show the heavily treed area that I just mentioned, and this is Piles Concrete to the left, and that's Piles fencing, chain link fence around their facility. And this is down the road from another, sort of the other corner of that heavily wooded area. And then this is the plat that they've submitted for tonight. It shows the new lot, which would be Lot 1 in this area. By the way, they are dedicating public utility and drainage easement for sewer and water, so that means that they had to submit for a plat. So that's one of the main purposes in this submittal. There's no technical items, so that completes the report.
Thank you, Mr. Logan. Did we have any questions or comments? Mayor Cole?
Just, I had a question for both the engineer and the planner. I want to say at the workshop, we discussed it was water dedication, but
Yeah.
sewer's included as well?
So there'll be a water line extension. The sewer, they may end up adding, but I think as of right now, they've got the sewer with just a service line. So it's just water at this point.
Okay.
Very good. Would you like to ask the engineer, sir? Very good. Any other questions or comments?
Do we have some to the change that were made, or
We do.
the applicant here?
If you don't mind, please come to the podium, state your name and address for the record.
Deaton Hildebrand, 214 Oceanside Drive. There were no comments during the planning commission workshop, so there have been no changes made to the plat.
I think from the workshop, though, the one comment was submit a PDF of site plan. We received that, Mr. Logan?
Yes, sir, that's what that is.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments for the applicant?
Then I'll make a motion to accept as submitted.
We have a motion to accept as submitted. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Rutledge. All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, sir. And our final item is bonds and letters of credit update.
Mr. Chairman and the board, everyone should have a copy of the updated bond list in front of them. There is one that will expire on January 25th, but I'll be in contact with the bank on that to get that extended. Everything else was up to date.
Very good. No further questions or comments. Thank you, everyone. Meeting adjourned.